Hey, fam. It's your girl Aniya A. And as you know, many a nights we go live with you guys here on YouTube for the after hours talk session, afterthoughts of another powerful Aniya A show. And tonight, I wanted to just focus on being cute and being me. I know that sounds a little cheesy. I know I sound a little conceited, but guess what? I don't care. Listen, it was such a beautiful night that I had to come on and do my afterthoughts with you guys, right? Afterthoughts, after hours with Aniya A. Hold on one second, because I'm also sharing this on my beautiful Facebook page, as you guys know I often do. One second, people. Stay with me as I share this great content with the Facebook world. Um, and I am here sharing now. So hold on. Afterthought. Listen, tonight was such a beautiful night that, like I said, I had to come on and talk with you guys. It's been a few days, and I don't know if you guys know this, but just last week I had major surgery. I was going through hell, and I haven't had the strength and the energy to get up out of bed, never mind go live and then, follow up with you guys. So it is so great, first of all, to be back live with you on YouTube, but also to share some great moments and some feedback as I often do. And one of the things that I love sharing about is new adventures, new conversations, new friends, and things of that nature. And wouldn't you know, tonight I'm doing a new hair thing. Okay, now, mind you, I have natural hair. So I'm trying my very best to live this best life with all this natural stuff. And it's not doing its very best. So disregard the natural mess right now. But you know what? I want to say this, that in this season, I'm learning me. I know I should have already known myself. I should have already been hip to the game. I should have already had all this awareness, black car, whoop, whoop, down pat. But what people fail to understand is dealing with black hair. It's pretty intense, especially if you have really no foreknowledge of what black hair is supposed to be. Just like anything in life, right? If you always were taught, excuse me, something different about yourself or something different about anything, what tends to happen is once you learn how to manage that thing or cope with whatever it is that you're learning at the time, you realize it's an entire journey. It's like reading Chinese. It's like learning how to play softball after being an expert at basketball. So with me tonight, and just being a little conceited and loving myself extra hard tonight, I want to share that I'm so happy that in this season I'm actually learning more about myself, and also learning more about God and about who God wants me to be. Listen, we all have a journey in this life. And as I shared during the interview with life coach Pat earlier of Top Counseling, there's this thing that happens. You're born on one day, you die on one day, but in between, on a tombstone, there's a dash. What is your dash going to say? What are you going to leave behind as a legacy? Do you care whether or not you leave behind a legacy? Do you care whether or not people will learn anything from you? If you don't care, this conversation is not for you and it's not about you. But if you're somebody like myself who has learned a whole lot, who has grown a whole lot, who has experienced a whole lot, then you'll understand why this is so imperative. I want to be that person that leaves behind a legacy because I've lived such a fulfilling life. I've had ups, I've had downs, I've had a lot of in betweens. And at this point, being who I am means a lot more to me than meets the eye. Why? With all the crap I've had thrown at me most of all of my life, I learned how to survive. I learned how to do more than survive, actually. I learned how to live. I've learned how to live my most prosperous, most best, most purposeful life. And that's what I want to leave behind. Because when it's all said and done, we only have that dash. We only have what time we were given. What are you going to do with your time? What are you going to do with the time that you're given presently? When I opened up tonight on the Aniya A show before life coach Pat came on, I went into a moment of silence for those that have committed suicide recently. There was a writer in Hollywood, a beautiful black sister, who literally just took her life like a week ago. I think her name was Jazz. She wrote a whole lot for Hollywood, but she could not handle the moments of solitude, the moments of not being able to leave her home, the moments of, I guess, just this new way of living. She wasn't prepared, but none of us were. None of us are prepared to live in solitude, being quarantined and being different, living a different existence than what we're accustomed to. But if you know that tomorrow is coming and there's a high probability that you will leave your house again and you will be able to have fun again with your friends, then guess what? It's all worth it. Like this hair. This hair is doing what this hair wants to do tonight. I'm not rocking the wigs. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave the wigs alone for just a week or two, maybe indefinitely. I don't know. Because guess what? This natural hair does what it wants to do. Presently, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going with the flow. Why? Because I can't control this massive natural thing that's on my head. And for many years, I was so ashamed and so embarrassed to go out with my hair publicly in the spotlight because of what people would say. First of all, I didn't know how to manage it. I didn't know how to maintain it. Why? Because I was never taught how to. From a very young age, my hair was permed. Like many black or brown children, black or black girls who have hair that is not pinned straight, not conforming with the ways of society, the women and the young girls that have hair that just does what it wants because it was made to be like that. My hair in this state is flat iron with a little bit of curl rods, these things here, which I'm learning how to utilize. Hold on, let me show you something real quick. I got two different kinds here because the beauty supply store, for example, ran out of one brand, so I had to get like these two different things. There's like inches and dimensions on them, and there's all sorts of stuff that you got to learn how to, do with this hair. But you know what's funny? I'm over society's judgments. I'm over the judgments of people because I didn't choose this hair. This hair chose me. And we didn't choose this pandemic. This pandemic chose us. So I want the people out there who are dealing with either anxiety, PTSD, stress, loneliness, just a lack of confidence during this time because you've never had to deal with this. Remember, none of us had ever had to deal with this. None of us have ever lived through a pandemic unless you're like 150 and you dealt with it like in the, 1800 BC before Christ or something. I don't know. But typically, none of us have ever lived through a pandemic. So we don't know what this is. But we must live daily because we have one life. And when the life is over, what are we going to leave behind? Is our tombstone going to say something positive? Will it say something mediocre? Or will it say nothing at all? I want to leave you with this thought. Michael Thomas Sr., aka Mike the Mentor, always says this: our lives are a resume. What will your resume say about you? And I'm not talking about just work experience. For those that are like, Aniya, duh, I'm a doctor, I have a PhD, I have a postdoctorate, I have a this, I have that. No, what the hell? What have you done for humanity? What have you done for your neighbor? What have you done to leave a positive impact in society? That's what your dash more than likely is going to represent. Yes, it's one thing to go out and get all the education that's been given or opportune to you or available to you. Of course, that's a great thing to be highly educated in this society. But if you're highly educated and you have no compassion, then what is it about? If you're highly educated, but you can't hold a conversation, then you're still a klutz and a nut. If you're highly educated and you can't stand to see good in this world, or you've never done anything good with that degree and those degrees, because obviously when you become a PhD or a doctorate, postdoctorate, etc., you have had to accumulate several degrees. What will people say about you when you're no longer here? Not that that's what it's all about, because some people will argue about that too. But I'm saying, friends and family, boys and girls, and all those fans across the world that I'm making every night from 8:30 p.m. on, what is your mission, your purpose, your desire, and what will you leave behind as a legacy? Think about those things. You don't have to answer me. These are rhetorical, right? I don't care. I don't care what your answers are, because you know what? It's about you anyway. If you want to share, and if you've gained any knowledge or anything from what I'm saying this evening, you can write to me, the Aniya A Show at gmail.com. You can go on my website, www.freedomentertainmentgroup.com, or you can visit me Monday through Friday on the Aniya A Show, starting at 8:30 p.m. on these platforms here. Ready? Aniya A period spelled out on Facebook, of course. On Instagram, we have ANIYAA143. We also have FEGMGMT. And thirdly, we have NVSANYC. So if you want to reach out, I'm not very good with the phone calls because I'm on the phones all day long, getting ready for my interviews, getting ready, to just deal with life circumstances. Some of you know, and others don't, that I had major surgery last week, and I never came back. I'm feeling fabulous. I had no idea what I was going to be going through. I thought it was going to be the end. I swear, when you go into anesthesia and under, the knife, you just have to be thankful when you come out, right? And so that's always my thing. That's always my thing when I go into surgery, because I've had many operations. So I'm thankful tonight. And I've shared these thoughts with you because I want you to be thankful too. You may not be struggling mentally. You may not be struggling physically. You may not be struggling financially. You may not be struggling spiritually. And you may not be struggling with any of those. You may have a perfect life, so you think. But what are you going to do with that life? That's the question. And you don't have to answer me because it's rhetorical. However, I really want you to think about it, because guess what? I wouldn't be doing my job as Aniya A period if I didn't ask these questions and make you think a little bit. With that being said, shout outs to all the great people that were on tonight sharing, commenting. We got just a little short of 100 comments, 98 comments on one show, with about 25 likes, loves, hearts, and presently we're at 458 views. By the end of tonight, midnight plus, will be over 1,000. I feel it in my heart, because typically that's what happens every night now on the Aniya A Show. Live your best life. Live for you. Be a blessing to somebody if you can be. And remember, when it's all said and done, what is that dash going to say? If you don't care, disregard everything I just said tonight. But if you give a damn, do something and live that life and make a difference. Have a blessed night. Oh yeah, don't forget, we're interviewing Sequetta Thompson tomorrow night on the Aniya A Show at 8:30 p.m. She is the beloved grandmother of Stephon Clark, the young man that was gunned down in her own backyard a few years back. You don't want to miss tomorrow night. Thank you.